everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've just discovered my channel, welcome. I'm Erin. I hope that you'll stick around and click the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and that way you'll be notified when future videos are posted. But if you want to get notifications that aren't just in your feed but in your phone or email, make sure you click the little bell as well so you get those notifications. So if you didn't already know from the title, you might be able to tell by my ensemble that today I'm going to be doing the 90s tag for you. I have done some other tag videos, including the 80s tag, so I will link my tag playlist for you in case you're interested in watching those as well. But I decided to do the 90s tag because I've noticed that in 2016, the 90s seem to have come back in fashion in some ways. One way being that chokers seem to be very popular. I never really wore them in the 90s, and I got this one very affordably at Walmart for this video. But I have to say they are not very comfortable, or maybe it's just the one I got. But anyway, enough about that. So because the 90s are kind of back, I thought that it would be appropriate to do the 90s tag. Now, I was born in the 80s, but I did most of my growing up and going to school in the 90s. So I'm going to answer some questions for you, and I tag anyone else who was interested in doing this video and was around for the 90s to do this tag as well. So the first thing is favorite Disney film. Now, me being a Disney lover, this is a hard question to answer. If we're talking animated films, it's definitely Beauty and the Beast. While I enjoy the others, that is definitely my favorite. In terms of all Disney movies ever, I don't know that I can pick a favorite. I watched a lot of Disney movies as a kid, many that most people have probably not even heard of, because every Sunday my mom and I would watch the Disney Sunday night movie that would come on, and so I saw quite a variety of Disney movies, so I enjoyed watching all of those ones. As a kid, I think probably the Parent Trap ones were a lot of my favorites. And I enjoyed the Disney Channel original movies, a lot of those as well, so I don't know, I just love all Disney. Favorite 90s music artist. For those of you who know me, I'm gonna give you a few seconds to write in the comments who you think it might be. Of course, it's Britney Spears. I liked her from Baby One More Time, and I still like her today, so she definitely has to be my favorite 90s artist. Others I enjoyed, Spice Girls, of course. I did enjoy Christina Aguilera. Basically any 90s pop was my thing. Favorite candy from that time? I would have to say probably Fun Dip, which is pure sugar, just a packet of sugar that you dip a sugar stick into. And probably Airheads. I really remember liking Airheads, which was kind of like a taffy stick, if you're not familiar with that. But I'll tell you a little story. My love for Airheads ended because I was eating one day while watching TV, and I fell asleep, and the Airhead got stuck in my hair. Now, I'll try to find some pictures of me in the 90s, but I had very long hair, almost to my butt, and I did not want to cut my hair at that point. And my mom feared that I would have to cut my hair in order to get the Airhead out. But she really worked at it and was able to remove it without having to cut my hair, which is good because at the time I probably would have been devastated, but it all worked out. But I don't think I've eaten an Airhead since then. Favorite board game? I had a couple. Guess Who I really enjoyed, I think because I've always kind of had a love for mysteries and things like that, so Guess Who was one. And then of course all the girl board games like Mall Madness, Girl Talk, Dream Phone. Definitely enjoyed those. Favorite Nickelodeon show? Well, being a Disney kid, I did lean more toward Disney shows, but I will say that I did enjoy a lot of the Nickelodeon shows as well. Some that came to mind were Clarissa Explains It All, Alex Mack. I also remember liking Hey Dude. So those were some of my favorite Nickelodeon shows. Favorite book? I don't have a specific favorite book, but I did have a favorite book series, and that was Babysitter's Club. I also really enjoyed the Sweet Valley High books, but leaned a little bit more toward the Babysitter Club books. Favorite McDonald's toy? Well, to start off, I have to tell you something very nice that my mom did for us as a kid. Well, I guess it depends who you ask. Some people might not like it, but she would go and get us the McDonald's toys, but wouldn't necessarily get the Happy Meal because, at least at that time, they would let you just buy the toy without having to get the food or Happy Meal. So I guess it was healthier for us, but if you were a kid who really liked McDonald's, you'd probably be unhappy that you weren't able to eat the food, but we were able to get the toys, so that was nice. So I would have to say my favorite McDonald's toys probably were when they had the Barbies. Anytime they had the little Barbie figurines that you could get, I loved getting those. And I also enjoyed when they gave out the Beanie Babies. Favorite clothing store? I had to think about this a little bit, but I think my favorite clothing stores at the time, well, one that definitely came right to mind was 579. So it was just like 5.7.9. Doesn't exist anymore, but it was kind of a junior store, probably like an early Forever 21, and I really liked that store. I also remember liking Wet Seal as I got a little bit older. I always liked Gap as well, and Express, even though it was a little bit expensive, but if they had things on sale or I was going back to school shopping. So those were some of my favorite stores to shop at. Weirdest 90s fashion trend? I had trouble coming up with one for girls. I think because I was around during that time and grew up in that time, the trends didn't seem that strange to me. I had the butterfly clips. I didn't wear chokers, but the fact that they've come back, I guess they can't be that weird. And yeah, so I couldn't really think of or pinpoint anything that was really weird for that time, but I'm sure other people probably think that they're weird fashion trends. However, I did think of one for guys, and that's Janko jeans. And if you don't know what those are, I will do my best to insert a picture, but they're basically beyond baggy jeans. They are way oversized, and I mean, you could fit 2 people in them, I think. And I just never really understood that style, but thankfully that has not made a comeback, and let's hope it never does. But I personally did not wear them. I know some girls did wear them, and I knew people who wore them, but I personally didn't. What would you watch after school? I would watch Kids Incorporated and Mickey Mouse Club. Those were some of my favorites to watch after school, which I did mention in my 80s tag, but that's because they carried from the 80s to the 90s. So those were definitely some of my favorites. I also remember enjoying watching Saved by the Bell. I don't know if that was after school, but I'm pretty sure it was, but I did enjoy watching that one. And as I got a little bit older, I enjoyed watching TRL, or Total Request Live, which was a show on MTV hosted by Carson Daly. And it was every weekday, I believe, and I think the thing I liked most about it is they had guests on, which would be singers, a lot, singers, famous people. They would have them on as guests. Britney was on it. All the boy bands were on it, so of course I was loving that. And they always had a live audience, I think outside and then in the studio, and I remember always wanting to go to New York and be in that audience, but it didn't happen. And that show doesn't exist anymore, but basically they would also play popular videos, or people could request music videos for them to play. I had to rephrase this next question because it was simply NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. And not only does that not include all of the boy bands of the 90s, but I can't pick a favorite. I know some people were very much NSYNC or Backstreet Boys and not one or the other. But I liked them all, I have to be honest. I had my favorites within each group, but I really liked 98 Degrees, I really liked NSYNC, and I really liked Backstreet Boys. And I may have gone through phases. I think I liked Backstreet Boys the best first because they came out first, I believe. Then when NSYNC was new, I liked NSYNC. I just liked them all. I liked all the boy bands. Favorite Beanie Baby. I was going to look this up to make sure that I was accurate, but I didn't get around to it, so I'm just going to go off of memory. If there was a panda Beanie Baby, I'm pretty sure I had it, and I'm pretty sure it was my favorite. But of course, I also have to include as a favorite Beanie Baby, the Erin Beanie Baby, because it's named after me, and it's an Irish Beanie Baby, so that was a favorite as well. But I also remember having an elephant one. I thought I had an elephant one that I really liked, but I might be remembering that incorrectly. But those are the favorite Beanie Babies I can remember. And I'm starting to fight the sun, so I'm gonna try to hurry up before it gets to my face. Favorite collectible, American Girl dolls. They were very expensive at the time, and they didn't have the stores like they have now. You could only get them through the mail. But I had Samantha, Kirsten, Addie. I don't think I had Felicity, but I think I wanted Felicity. I also wanted Molly, but my mom figured out that you could just put glasses on Samantha and she would look like Molly. So I very much enjoyed my American Girl dolls. If they had had the store like they have now, I probably would have gone crazy. But I also like how it was then, where they kind of came from a historical time period. I could read the books about them. Whereas now, I think they still have that, but they also have much more modern dolls. Oh, and I guess that's the final question. I thought I had more. So, I hope that you enjoyed this 90s tag. If you love the 90s or nostalgia or just remember anything that I've mentioned from the 90s, then please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below what are some of the things you remember from the 90s. I'd love to hear about it. Also, let me know what other tag videos you might like to see me do. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.